Okay, so we got a no heat call on this Lennox here. My draft motor is going, but we don't have any heat. But I wanted to show you something cool about this building. And the electrical service to this building's a little bit different. What we have here, that's stupid safety. This building is on a Delta high leg system. So in here you have a bastard leg or a stinger leg, and basically a high leg system is a type of three-phase power where they use a center tap on one leg for 120 volts. So this makes diagnosing a little bit different. Let me see if I can try to get this in frame so you can see that meter. It's kind of sunny out, but anyway, I can probably do this two-handed. Alright, so basically no voltage, right? So between two legs, .240 volt. Between two other legs, .240 volt, and between the remaining two, you see I get a lower voltage, or I get 208. It should be 240, but now watch this. If I go one leg to ground, try to find a good ground here. Trying to do this single-handedly here. That'll give me a ground. Yeah, that'll give me a ground. Alright. So in a normal system, you'll have about 115, 120 to ground. So if you look here, I got 180 to ground. There's your stinger leg. This one should have 115 or 120, which it does. And the last one should have 120, which it does. So right there is your stinger leg. And a kind of a crappy contact. There it is right there. Right there's your stinger leg. It makes diagnosing switches and things a little bit different. You can see I had 240 volt between each phase instead of 208. Gives a little bit of higher voltage to your units. So we're gonna go see what's actually up with this unit and fix it, hopefully. Okay, so I had to shut this unit off to show you that voltage thing, but before I did, I checked the readout there, and it was giving me 55. It's on my panel here, 55. The rollout switch open X amount of times, blah 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 blah. So it means my rollout switch is popped. So my rollout switch is right here. It's this little switch right here. So I'm going to press it. Alright, it just clicked. So we have a vacuum switch. What is this? Wow, alright, somebody's been playing. Somebody has been playing in this unit. And it wasn't us. Alright. I know the sun's at my back, it's kind of terrible to see here. Newer draft motor, which is fine. I just reset this rollout switch, which means that flame rolled out just like we had on that other unit. But as I said before, they have safeties for that. They have this, which senses the actual vacuum that this creates. So if this isn't creating a vacuum, then it's not going to switch. But I'm looking at this, and I don't know if you can tell, that's thermostat wire. There should be two white wires that look like this. I don't know what this is. That's a replacement switch. But where the hell does that go? That's going to the... Somebody jumped something out here. Somebody jumped something out. Alright, because I have this thermostat wire here. This should be its own 2 wires, and usually they're all jumped from a terminal block, but you can see this thermostat wire goes in here. We've only got 95 feet of it here, and it's jumped into the board here. Alright, so I'm gonna shut the camera off. I gotta figure out. Look, well, actually, look at all the wire nuts. Look at this. Wire nut, wire nut, wire nut, wire nut, wire nut, wire nut. You got jumpy land. Alright, that's a replacement board. This isn't the original board. Could be a reason why things are jumped like that, but I gotta figure out why they did this. So let me track down the schematic and go through everything here. So right now it's backtracking what somebody else did. Okay, be with you in a minute. Okay, so we figured out what they did. I don't know why they did it. So they have thermostat wire hooked up to that safety, the vacuum switch, which then goes in through the cabinet, looped around, back up here, then gets connected with these 2 wires here. Now what these 2 wires are, you can see they plug into the board there. I don't know if you guys can read it from the sun, but right underneath there it says S10. So S10 on my schematic here is the primary gas limit. So that's the primary limit to the unit. So what they did is they just jumped off of the power to that. But here's the thing: this switch is in parallel, not in series. So that vacuum switch isn't doing anything. So here's power in and power out, right? For your 24 volts to sense it. And all they did was jump in line with that. So this switch here is actually in series and not doing anything. It's effectively jumped out of the circuit. Now if you look under here again, which you probably can't read, right here it says S18, which is my vacuum switch. So these 2 wires, right there, that's my actual vacuum switch. So I followed those down. They go down, over, and then down, and lo and behold, they're capped off and jumped out. So no matter what, whether there's anything wrong with that draft motor or not, this unit's going to try to fire. So what I'm going to do is take this, I'll get 2 new pieces of wire, and we'll rehook that vacuum switch back in place, make sure everything's working. Now I also, this unit is a 2000. So I checked out the heat exchanger, and this is nice and solid. Now we had replaced this probably going on 3 years ago now. So you know, this is 100% solid. Now again, with the jumping out of things, they have their own in-house guys that like to try to fix things, and sometimes they don't. So more than likely that's where that came from. But I'll put it back to normal. You see all the pot. Look at that. Here's a flame rod. Here's a igniter. Here's the old vacuum switch. Here's an old ignition module. And collecting pots in here. Ooh. And that's a nice pair of Klein needle nose. A little rusty. Some WD and some oil in there. It'll be good as new. So I got paid twice on this job. Okay. I have that fixed. I have everything. I have the thermostat jumped out right now. I got all the wires back to where they should be. Let's fire it up, see what happens. The thermostat jumped out just so I don't have to deal with the delay. With the delayed thermostat. So we're calling right now for heat in the draft motor. We're moving air. Let's see if we get an error code or if something fires, or see what happens. We just fired up. So the rollout switch was definitely popped, but it's been really windy out lately, last day or so. And prevailing wind here actually is coming from that side where the camera is. If you get a really good gust of wind down the throat of this thing, you can actually roll out the flame a little bit and have it hit that, which is probably what happened. Either that or this rollout switch itself is weak. Unfortunately, there's no really way to test that out without it letting it run. But you know, we have heat, our wiring and our safeties are back in place where they should be. So my best bet is just to let her run and see if that pops again. If for any reason this pops again, I'll replace that. What I'll do is I'll get one. I'll get one. Make sure it's in my truck. In case I do get a call back, I'll replace that. And I'll just write up the slip to reference that also. You know, if it goes out again, we'll have to replace the switch. But the heat exchanger looks solid. I'm going to double check that. What I'll do is I'll put the panel back on the blower, wait till the blower turns on. If there's a crack in the heat exchanger, what will usually happen is the blower will force air into the tube, and you'll see one of these tubes roll out. But looking at the way that heat exchanger looks, I don't think that's what it is. So we'll just let this do its thing. Alright, we are lit. Been running for about 10-15 minutes or so. Belt is nice and tight. Moving plenty of air. Nothing's rolling out. My panel's back on. Everything else here looks okay. The only thing I didn't check was the filters though. Well, they're keeping up with their PMs, so that's good. The only thing though is these are actually the wrong filter sizes. There's a 16 by 20. And it looks like a 20 by 20. If I remember right, they should take 4 18 by 20. Yeah, 16, 17, 18, subtract 2 from the 20, yeah. I mean, they fit, that's perfectly fine, but usually it takes 4 18 by 20, so you have all the same size filter in there. You don't just buy a case of that one size filter, but you know, whatever works. It's the way they want to do it. It's the way they want to do it. This job is done. Alright, so today's job is, this is what, a 20-ton GCS Lennox. The blower is making a ton of noise, and on the bottom, this bearing, pretty much done. It looked like the rubber grommet kind of rotted off there. Could be vibration, could have done anything, have done that. So what we need to do is I'm going to replace this bearing and probably the bracket too, because I'm probably going to have to cut it to get this off. We'll see. But I have the bearing bracket, and I also have a new bearing for the top and another bearing bracket. So we got to get this off. The way this comes off, this motor plate will detach. There's 3 screws around the cowling on the top, 2 on the side, 3 again on the bottom, and are on these feet. And that whole blower section should slide out. Alright, this motor's going to come out, and then this whole thing will come out. It's going to weigh a ton, so that's plenty of tap. Here. Oh, damn it. It's heavy. Okay, motor's out. Should move that bracket. All right, blower's out. I think so are my testicles. All right, let's get this off the roof and I'll do all the stuff down there. All right, so we're down on the ground. Here's the bottom bearing. We got to get that off. Now, Lennox usually puts tar around their shaft, so I sanded all that off. I have this soaking in some Croil. These 3 mounting screws are loose. What I need to do now is I'm going to try getting this off without cutting the bracket. I do have a new bracket that I'm going to replace anyway, but if I don't have to cut this, then the more the merrier. But what I want to do is make a center point in this to hold the center of my pulley puller. So we got little center drill. Alright, that'll give me a point for that pulley puller to grab. And I'm going to try pulling the bracket with the bearing attached. So I'm going to get this nut off, which doesn't want to come off. Oh, there it goes. Well, there's the set screw on the collar. Now for the collar itself, which I know isn't going to move. You can see there's a little pin here for a spanner for you to turn that. I don't think this little wrench is large enough for that. Oops. There we go. even need the puller. So yeah. There's the collar. And what's left of the rubber. You can see how much it wore away. So yeah, I think it's time for a replacement. All right. Shaft is in good shape. You got a little bit of a, you got a little line up here, but nothing that's gonna screw us over. I mean, it's like it catches a fingernail and that's it, but otherwise it's good to go. So nice new bearing. Going to use the flat end of my nut driver here just to make sure that that rubber flange %100% seated. And there's the new lock ring. Now we're just going to snug this for right now. Not really tight. Just enough to hold it, because we're going to put in the other bearing also. And as far as balance goes on the blade, we look really good. It's not dirty. I mean, you got some dust on it, but nothing worth cleaning off. You're going to do more damage if you try to clean it than you would if you just leave it be. But you can see, you know, when I let go, it holds. And we're going to do the other bearing just because if this was wiggling around like crazy, that could have done some damage to the other one. While we have it all apart, we'll do it now. We only have to take it apart once. Okay, so this is the other side here. And this is a taper lock pulley. So there are two screws that hold this pulley on to this little collar. This collar is split and it has a taper on it. As you draw the pulley into it, it squishes down on the shaft and draws up the pulley. So we skipped the, pardon me, beating the living bejesus out of it to be able to pop the taper off. And I'm gonna get a little pulley here. So let's see if I can grab the inside corner here. That and that. All right, just match this. Remember that that's the top. Set those aside. This coil stuff works as a pretty damn good solvent for that tar stuff on there. Okay, any little bit of rust that you see right there. Oh, the old one? Yeah, it went right through it. It's only a matter of time before it took the rest of the blower with it. Alright, so it's my little set screw. That one came off way easier than I thought. Okay, a little bit of lube down the hole. This guy here. Wow, the other one came off so easy. This one doesn't want him. Doesn't want him. No, got it. I guess I gotta turn out of it. There we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got some mookies in there. Yeah, that's rust. Okay, so I'm gonna let that penetrate for a little bit. I'll undo these 3 screws and we'll see if it comes off as easy as the other one. This bearing is not cooperating, so what I'm gonna do is cut this bearing bracket. This is usually what I have to do. Cut the bearing bracket. That way there, I can get a grip on it with some channel locks, and I can spin the shaft and loosen that up, or heat it up and loosen it. Once I get that loose, it should slide right off. It's just a matter of getting it loose. We're plugged in. Go. All right. Whew. Alrighty. Now that we got that cut off, get a bigger pulley puller. Luckily there was a CS next door. Alrighty. The old heat hole. Oh, yeah, it's coming now. It's coming now. No, we're gonna fight. It's coming. Some rust. Oh yeah, that's rusted on that. That's what was holding me. Whoops. Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh, look in here and show it.
Oh, that. Oh, somebody just get shot. All right, we got everything in there, and we're gonna put the bearing back home. Come on, you know you want to fit. There you go. Do me a favor, watch that side, the opposite side. Is that seated?
Yeah.
It is? Alright, just... Huh?
Keep watching it.
Yeah, because I'm just going to be pushing in now.
Yeah, I'll pull one.
Okay. So that's in place now. Let's give it, make sure it's all seated. Now this one we're going to tighten all the way down. We're going to tighten this snug. And what I'm going to do is when I stand it up, it's going to settle on this bearing. Then I can push the bottom bearing up nice and snug that one up. So that way there, we're not squishing the bearings together. Now the pulley I'm going to wait to put on once we get it up there, because I'm going to have to move it up and down the shaft to be able to you know, get the belt level. But you can see we're nice. We turn really nice. We're pretty balanced. That was you spinning that, right? Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Yeah, we're balanced. Like I said, we have some dust and dirt in here, but not that much. You're gonna do more detriment trying to clean that off, because right now it's balanced. All that dirt is from it spinning is you know, balance out the fan blade. You try cleaning that, you end up cleaning one spot more than the other, and you're right back to where you started. So let's trek this up the ladder. We'll get it back into place, and then we'll adjust the top belt. Yay, birdie. Yes, in. All right, so all the weight's hanging off of that bearing basically. I want to go down on the bottom. And just make sure sorry, that this one here see how much I pushed that up, and now I'll just lock it. Just a little push, and we'll lock it right in place. So now we know we're not, because if you do that on the ground, you have either that problem or you have a tendency to kind of compress the bearings together. So we're good to go. lift it up and go in. See these hooks? They're going to want to slide on it here. So I'm not going to be able to line it up. Why don't you make a try? Grab where my hand is. Can't see, and you can't see, but I have to get on top of it to get leverage. Otherwise, I can't lift it up. Oh. All right, she's in. Holy fuck! I got 3 Adam's apples now. That's not the most efficient way to do that. Whew. Okay, we got to put the pulley on here. So put the pulley on first, and then put the collar on. I have the collar split with the screwdriver, so I can adjust it a little bit. And we're going to eyeball where it needs to be, and then we can adjust it up or down. The only thing though is when you put these on, as you tighten the set screws, it'll pull the pulley up and not the collar down. So you got to kind of take care of that extra little bit. Just getting some of the tar still in there. Okay. So, I'm going to put this on. And I'm going to be a little bit lower than that. We're in that neighborhood. Actually, see how this goes. That's actually not bad as it comes up. It's gonna tighten it. So we tighten this down, see how Oh yeah.
Is that adjustable inch?
Alright, that's tight enough. That's tight. That's pretty damn good. Can get you out of there so you can see. So, I can go for that. Alright, let's get all our tools out of here. We'll start this up, see if it shatters to a billion little pieces, or see if we actually fixed it. Okay, moment of truth. Turn it on. Oh, see, nice and woo! Look at that. This thing was vibrating all over the roof last time. I can go for that. Call this job done.